Ladies and gentlemen, here's a little video that I made to show you, as well as some other things, how concrete stenciling is done. So I hope you enjoy this little video.
As you can see there, we put a little rolled curb over on that side because the dirt is higher than our concrete. And we can put a 20 centimeter curb there if we have to, or even more than a 20, as high as a 30 centimeter curb there if need be, to hold the dirt in. A monolithic curb right into our concrete. I think I'm just going to work that a little bit yet before we put the border in there.
So here you can see the monolithic curb a little bit better. And let me just add here that this concrete was poured a couple hours ago, and the concrete must be very pliable for us to work with it this way, and then also to apply the stencils.
Okay, you guys put the water down. Alright, now that I got that finished off a little bit, we're going to install that border along the curb side.
After the stencil is laid down, then as you see there, the stencils are rolled. They're rolled into the concrete, which makes them embed into the surface of the concrete, and that's then what gives you your mortar joint, or rather that which looks like a mortar joint. Here we then put the main stencils in, and again we roll them into the concrete so that they are embedded slightly into the surface of the concrete, and that gives us our what appears to be then later the mortar joint. After this, now, as you will see, we apply a dry shake-on color hardener, and this application makes the surface a lot stronger than just ordinary concrete. It impregnates right into the concrete and makes the surface last a lot longer. Here we are putting on 3 different colors because that's what the owner chose. We're putting on red, yellow, and blue. And you, as our potential client, can put on any color you want. You can put on as high as 6 different colors, or only 1 color. It just depends on you as our client. And the border doesn't have to be a different color. The border can be of the same color. Some people think that this perhaps looks too busy, but then other people like it that way. Now, finally, after the concrete has been finished with a non-slip texture, in the morning then, the next day, we take out the stencils. So that's what we're doing now. So there is the finished product. well, I should say almost finished, because it yet remains for us to apply concrete sealer and to saw cut it later on, which I'll explain why it needs to be saw cut. The sealer prevents the concrete from getting stained, for example by the spilling of coffee or oil and such things. Bear in mind now that we can do any size area as well as many different designs and colors of your choice. Here, as you see, we stenciled in a bird, a red bird, to correspond with the logo of the hotel. And also, as you see there, we stenciled in a welcome sign. So you can also do that. We can stencil in your name as our client, or any logo that you would want. Now, someone may ask, how durable is concrete that is stenciled? Well, my answer to that is that it is very durable. And the colors we use are UV stable or resistant. I have heard say that concrete, if of high quality and finished the correct way, will keep on hardening for 100 years after it is poured. So that gives you an idea of just how resistant concrete is, but that is only if it is of high quality. And that's all we do, is high quality. I don't piddle around with concrete of low quality. I use C40, if that means anything to you. And there's very few people, if anyone who uses C40 for this kind of work. But I use C40 because I know that is high quality, and I want to be assured that when we leave your place as our client, you will have in your place kind of like a monument, a remembrance of our quality work. And also, when I go by your place years later, I can say to my friends and other clients, look, this is the work we did so many years ago, if that's the case. So you can be assured, if you hire us to do your work, we will do our best to give you a very high quality job, one that you will be able to be proud of yourself and tell your neighbors about it, and recommend us to do their work. This kind of work is not something that you can learn in just a few years. Concrete, the working of concrete, well, concrete itself has many different characteristics. When it's hot, it works one way. When the weather is hot, when it's cold or cool, it works another way. And so there's many different things a person has to learn in order to do quality work. I can tell just when the concrete comes from the ready-mix plant, if whether it's of good quality. I can tell by the way it smells, for example. So there's many things you have to learn. You can't learn just by going to school and expect to learn in a few days and then go out and do concrete work. And I've been doing this kind of work now for over 40 years. In fact, from my youth, working alongside my father, I learned the basics of the concrete flat work. So anyhow, that just tells you a little bit about us. And of course, as my wife says, sometimes the monkey falls out of the tree also. And that has happened to us. I don't say that it can't happen. But if it does happen, in other words, if we make a mistake, and if it's not of it doesn't hold up, I will come back and I will take out your concrete and we will redo it. I've done that. Something unexpected happened, and I came back and we took out all the concrete and we redid it. So anyhow, here now you see us cutting the concrete, and the reason for that is that concrete is a little like steel. In other words, it expands and contracts according to the temperature. In the daytime, when it warms, the slab will expand. And at nighttime, when the slab cools, it then contracts. So if we don't cut the slab, it will come under stress and crack at random. We only cut the slab about 1/4 of the way through to make it weak at that point. And we expect the slab then to crack underneath where we've cut it to make the crack invisible. Sometimes the client will ask me, Paul, do you guarantee that the concrete will not crack? Do you know what I tell them then? I tell them, no, we don't guarantee that the concrete doesn't crack. We guarantee that it will crack. But we control as to where the concrete cracks. In my lifetime, I've learned from hands-on experience pretty much as to where the weak points are in a slab of concrete. And we always try to then cut it at those weak points. And again, that's not something you learn in a year or two. My wife says, hey Paul,